Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of All About You. In today's video, I will be going over the Team Battles event that ARG just held. It was amazing. Shoutouts to Jim for having another successful event. We didn't hit the numbers in attendance that he wanted to. In fact, we only had about 96 people in attendance in total, which was not as much. That wasn't the number that he wanted to hit. But nonetheless, it was still a solid event, and a good portion of teams showed up, but mainly a lot of competitive teams. We didn't see too many casuals going to CT. So very good event, and we won it. I ended up teaming up with Ryan Severin, Chris Sock, and myself. And, you know, we are the God Squad. That's the name that I came up with our group a while ago, and I was playing with my former teammates. So with that being said, we played 4 rounds of Swiss and then 2 rounds of Top Cut. The first round, I ended up playing against some of my former teammates and good friends, Eric, Eon, Hill, and Juan from PPG. It was interesting. I ended up going up against Eon, and it was a Genu matchup versus Androids. As you know, I was playing Androids 17 and 18, and that match was actually looking pretty grim on my part. Eon actually overextended a little bit, and that's how I was able to win that match. Then round 2 or 3, I'm sorry guys, my memory's a little shaken since it was a long day. I ended up playing against Kareem and Nightschultz during those 2 rounds. Kareem was playing Baby Vegeta and Nightschultz was playing Shenron. That match also went very well for me, both of them. The Baby Vegeta matchup was relatively easy. No offense, Kareem, because Kareem is a good player. It's just the matchup was definitely nowhere near in his favor. And not to mention I got like a play sets of Android 18 Deadly Defenders. That's a whole nother story. Against Nightschultz, I ended up I was a little afraid of that matchup. I ended up cell chaining him early on turn 3. He ended up losing about, I want to say 5 to 6 cards out of hand, but he was able to recover quickly because he understands the matchup. He doesn't use all his Dragon Balls right away. He actually holds on to them, guys. He doesn't use Shenron's effect. He'll just stop because he knows that I'm going to cell chain him, and he doesn't want to awaken and gain so much advantage, have like 10 plus cards in hand, and then I just cell chain him. So he slowed the pace down and kind of brought it down more to his favor. He was playing a Gogeta variant, so since he's playing Gogeta Shenron, it works more in a control manner where you want to pace yourself in the game and then you hit them with the Gogeta. That's kind of how the deck works. And then from there, you just proceed to win. Round 4, I ended up playing against Eric Goodwin. That was my last opponent in Swiss rounds, and I defeated him, which was very interesting because in Top Cut, we ended up playing again in the finals in Top 2. And he ended up winning, but he beat me literally by 5K, which I actually had the 5K on board. It wasn't quite a play error, but it could have just been played better and I would have still beaten him, despite how close the game was. But that kind of tells you that it was really, really close. He was playing Janemba Mill. And yeah, and so for round 4, I beat him pretty quickly. He wasn't able to mill too much cards, probably about 3 attacks in total, and I was able to go for game. Moving into Top Cut, I played against Storm in my first top 4 match. It was actually against my good teammate Danny Wynn. I didn't play against him directly, but I played against his team. And the Storm matchup was good. My 2 teammates actually finished their games before me, and it was just me and the Storm player left. I proceeded to just pretty much, like, I showed him my hand, and I was like, well, since my 2 teammates won, we really don't have to finish the game. But we actually simulated it because he wanted to see if he was going to be able to win. And luckily we broke it down and I was still going to win the match regardless. But the match was actually really close. So shout outs to the Storm player. You know who you are. Actually, I like totally forgot like your name real quick, but you're really cool. He's a really cool player. Tough guy to beat. You know, he's actually Tony Creator's friend, which is really cool because they go to the same locals together. But anyways, I want to now get into the prizes, and we'll do a short little deck profile so that you guys can, you know, take a look at what I use. On entry, we received a mat that was similar to this, but like a rubber mat, and it was only one player side, so pretty decent. But this mat is really amazing. This was part of our winnings for winning the event. I received the Janemba deck box, which was cool. Roughly 30 packs of each. We have our sleeves. Jim basically just threw like a party bag and like, you know, gave additional pricing out. And then one of the main things that we were all playing for, which was the $100 store credit, which was pretty cool. There was going to be a voucher included, which was, I believe, $300 per person. We would have had that as well, but unfortunately, because of the attendance being low, Jim decided to just kind of reward everyone who made top 8 and give them out pricing. So he gave all of top 8 $100 credit. So guys, I used the Android 17 leader. This profile is gonna be practically identical to the previous Android 17 and 18 profile I had before. You guys already know what the leader does. It can awaken on 6. You reduce the cost of your androids while giving them a 5k boost once you have 4 or less life. We are going to start off with the awakening pieces. I ran 4 Inferno Emperor Frieza. Don't mind the non-foil. I actually ended up running 1 additional copy of him instead of TN from my previous deck profile. Just due to the versatility and the matchups that I knew I was going to encounter. Considering that we were playing a team battles event, we were all using different decks. So I was using androids, my teammate Chris Sock was using Storm, which was Krillin, the leader, and then my last teammate, Ryan Severin, was using Shenron. So we were all using different leaders, and that was the format of the event. So he proved to be more useful considering that I knew I would encounter Storm matchups and I didn't want to clutter my deck with too many cards that cost energy. Of course, we have our 3 Martial Expert TN Shenrons. Again, I normally would cut this out and run a 4th, but because of the type of event it was, I knew I was going to run into Storm and other fast-paced decks, so I wanted to let my opponent actually do the awakening. For our super combo, we ran 4 16s. Extremely effective after a cell chain, and very good with our overwhelm card, which I will show soon. For our cell package, we ran 4 Deadly Defender 18s. She's broken, the best Deadly Defender in the game. Against one of my opponents, I ended up bringing out 3 consecutively, like one after the other, and she's 25k swinging because I was at 4 less life. We ran 4 of our Crit Droid 18s, another powerful card. She put in some work in the tournament, but not as much. We focused more on our Deadly Defenders. I mainly used her for the cell chain, so we wanted to make sure we had plenty of droids to hit. We ran her the counterpart, which is the brother. This was also mainly used for the cell package. But, of course, when I was able to play it, I was able to do like some really neat things where my opponent would forget that I can pay 1 green if I met the requirement of my 17, and they discarded a 3 or less battle card for the turn, and I was able to play one of my 18s on board. We played 4 Limitless Energy Android 17, being able to remove, have barrier, and being a 25k blocker, essentially. As for the cell chain, we're going to keep this nice and short. We ran 4 cells. We need that in order to go into our cell chain. We ran 4 of the 5-drop. We need him in order to go into the point of the deck, which is dropping your opponent's hand down to 3 and then using your super combos to limit their resources while using cards like our Toas in order to put more pressure and give our leader a boost. So essentially, after you cell chain, you're using her and these in order to put an immense amount of pressure on your opponent. And then for the extra cards we ran for the deck, we ran 4 Shocking Death Balls, which were great. Again, probably one of the best negates in the game, if not the best. And then to top it off, we ran our 4 King Vegeta Surprise Attacks. Again, I'm an avid user for that card. A lot of people only mainboard 1 to 2 copies. I go 4. Overall, this deck did phenomenal in the tournament. It was a knockout, definitely one of the strongest contenders in the game. And given any team events, if you guys have any team battles events going on in your local scene or in any events that you may be going to, use this deck. You'll definitely, whoever uses it, and if you know and understand how to play the deck, you will go far with it. I ended up only losing one game towards the end, which was in the finals. My overall record was 5-1 in the tournament, which could have been 6-0 if I would have just comboed that additional 5K towards the end. But again, pointing out to Eric Goodwin, he played very well. It's just that I still would have had game on him. Other than that, great turnout. In terms of the competition, could have been more people, but a lot of solid players showed up and were ready to compete. So again, guys and girls, if you want to use this deck, I advise you to, because it's very, very powerful in the format. Now, originally, ironically, I was trying to use the Broly leader, the new one that was just released today. And unfortunately, I couldn't get my hands on it. This is why I ended up going for my Android 17 and 18 build, because I already knew it was going to be very solid and enough to do what I needed to do to win the event. Thank you, Jim, for allowing me to compete again. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed being in the atmosphere. As you guys may know, I was banned for a short amount of time, but now I'm back. And I'm back with a W, so it's pretty awesome. We have the Atlantic City event coming up very soon next week, or next weekend by PPG, which I am going to roll the clip. I hope you enjoyed it. That is the AC event coming up this weekend. I advise you to go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the first big tournament that is going to be with the new set. So a lot of people are going to get to try out a lot of new things, and it's just going to be an overall fun environment to play some Dragon Ball Super. But again, guys, I want to thank you all for being subscribed to this channel. Thank you for watching my content. I will have a lot of new things going on, and my videos are going to be a little better because we're going to up the quality of them while upping the quantity as well. So thank you all for watching, and as always, this channel is all about you.